Hello, Gene Schwimmer here, and welcome back to my video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, I've got two short items and then one longer item that I want to talk about today. So, oh, and by the way, since I got my thumb up here, that's a good demonstration of what you all can do. There's an icon below the video that looks just like my thumb, almost almost a representation of this thumb that you're looking at. And if you click that icon, the one that's pointing up, not the one that's pointing down, we won't even go there, just the one pointing up, then you could tell people that you like my video and maybe get other people to watch it. And you can also share the video and get people to watch it, and you can subscribe and you won't miss another video yourself. Oh, and feel free to comment. That's one of the reasons I do these things, is not just to tell you what I think, but I want to hear what you think. So, and you can argue with each other too in the comments. So I guess I should call it comments/arguments. Anyhow, here we go. First short item, number one, is Bernie Sanders. As we all know by now, he released his tax returns, and it looks like old Bernie's a millionaire. I guess we all know that by now, and we know that he's one of these people that are complaining about the Trump tax cuts and complaining that people are not seeing any benefit from it. Even the New York Times is now admitting that 80% of taxpayers got a tax cut, and that's across all income tax brackets, unless you're in the zero bracket and you don't pay any taxes at all. But since we're talking about Bernie, and Bernie's a millionaire, let's just talk about millionaires for a second. And the millionaire I want to talk about is Bernie Sanders, because it looks like he saved almost $40,000 on his own taxes, and that's thanks to Donald Trump and the Republican tax cut law. I hope Bernie will send a nice little thank you note to Donald Trump, or if he's offended by saving almost $40,000, well, hey, you could send it to me if you can figure a way to do it, or just send it to the government. Just refuse it, or give it to charity. That's short item number one. And short item number two, this one is, well, I don't know what to think about this one. I guess I'm not too happy to learn this. This is scientists, at least this one scientist, his research shows that when you die, your brain is the last thing to give out. Your heart goes first, and then your brain goes, and that's why you have people who have technically died and then been revived. They've had a heart attack, and technically they're dead, and then they're revived. They have a recollection of what happened to them while they were technically dead. It turns out, at least according to this scientist, that your brain continues to function after you die. So when you die, it's not like bang and you're gone. Your brain is still working, and you know that you're dead after you're dead until your brain gives out. And you can even, according to this scientist, you can hear the doctors pronouncing you dead. It's like being trapped in your own body. It's like that old short story, I can't remember the name of it, but the guy who's buried alive. That's what it's like, according to the scientists. You're trapped in your own body, you know you're dead, you can't say or do anything, and you have all your relatives weeping over you or going like that, anticipating the money they're going to inherit, and maybe it's somebody you don't like is going to inherit, and you didn't change your will before you died, and now all you can do is scream in your head while somebody gets your money. What can I say? So this does not make me happy. When I die, which hopefully will not be too soon, I don't want to know that I'm dead, okay? Maybe I'll know I'm dying, about to die, but once I'm dead, surprise me. I just don't want to know. And if I gotta know I'm dead after I'm dead, that does not make me too happy. This is the main topic that I want to talk about today. Bear with me now while I turn my thing back on here, because I want to read a quote out of here. This is going to surprise a lot of people if you don't live in New York, okay? Because this is really crazy. But anyways, New York is changing its firearms laws. One of the things I explained in my first comeback video, I had been away a long time, I'm starting to vlog again, is that I now live in Tennessee. I moved from New York City to Tennessee. One of the reasons that I moved was because of their stupid, ridiculous, draconian gun laws. I'm originally from Michigan. That's where I was born and grown up, and we don't, actually even outside of New York, it's not so crazy. Well, I'll just read you the quote right here, and then I'll explain what's going on here. Licensed gun owners in New York City will soon be able to legally transport their firearm to a second home, business, or any other place gun possession is permitted as a result of a rules change the NYPD, that would be the New York Police Department, announced Friday. Now, you're probably surprised. You're probably saying, isn't it just natural? Why can't you own a gun? Why can't you take it to someplace else if you own a second home or put it in your car or go somewhere? Well, guess what? In New York, until they changed this law, you couldn't. There are, I think, 7 licensed pistol ranges in New York City. That is the only place you can take your gun. You can take your gun in your home, and you have to keep it there. Don't even get me started on what you have to go through to get the gun license in the first place. But you have to keep it locked up in your home. Nobody but the licensed person can even touch the gun. And if you want to take it out of your home, you can only take it within the city limits to one of these 7 permitted gun ranges. That's it. So you cannot take your gun out of New York City. Now that is a crazy law. And the Second Amendment Foundation, they protect gun rights. They are suing. They took a case to the Supreme Court, or they took the case through the courts, and it got to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear, and so New York is changing its law. They're trying to, well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to circumvent the Supreme Court. They've got this dream that if they change the law before the court hears the case, then they won't set a precedent that would prevent a city maybe from the future from doing it. Though I don't know how that would prevent it, because then somebody else could just bring the same suit. And that is, in fact, exactly what happened in Washington, D.C. The Heller case, it was called, about somebody, Heller, being able to even have a handgun in his home, and it was going, or to get a license, or to get a concealed carry license, and it was going all the way to the Supreme Court. And Washington, D.C., they changed the law ahead of it because they did not want to set a precedent. But now we have a Supreme Court, a solidly conservative Supreme Court, that is going to hear this new case from New York. So they may hear the case anyway, and it will set a precedent. But here is a even better piece of news. Again, it may not interest you. Well, it may, just out of curiosity, but if you live in New York or Connecticut or in that area, anywhere that is covered by the Second Circuit Court, there is very good news for you, and would have been for me if I was still in New York. But there is a judge that is just announced his, I think his name is Droney, and he announced his retirement. And because he is retiring, Donald Trump, as he has been doing, gets to appoint his successor. And his successor is going to be a conservative judge. And just as he's about to accomplish with the Ninth Circuit, he is going to, as they say, flip the Second Circuit. The Second Circuit is notoriously liberal, and that's why the Second Amendment Foundation, for instance, who I've written to about this, they don't bother bringing a concealed carry case to that court because they know they're going to be ruled against. But now it looks like that could change because Donald Trump is going to flip the court as soon as he appoints a new judge, and then we're going to have a conservative majority on the Second Circuit. Hopefully somebody will bring a new concealed carry case to the Second Circuit, and this time they will get a ruling in the plaintiff's favor. Because New York, I just told you how hard it was until they just changed the law, even to carry a gun anywhere or to get a license to own a gun in New York City. Oh, and forget about getting a concealed carry license. And this is how unfair the laws are in New York, the concealed carry laws. As a lawyer explained, a lawyer who specializes in getting concealed carry permits, as he explained, if you're a celebrity or if you're rich, you can get a concealed carry license within about 48 hours. That's all it takes. In fact, Donald Trump has one. Donald Trump himself has a concealed carry license. But if you're not a celebrity and if you're not rich, then forget about it. John Stossel, he went through the process and he documented it on TV to try to get a concealed carry license. And he had to fill out 50 pages of forms, go through all kinds of rigmarole, and in the end, the license was denied. So I am praying that that will change. It doesn't affect me anymore personally because I'm in Tennessee now where you do not have to go through this nonsense, but I feel for the people back home and I am praying for this to happen. And that's it for today. See you again soon. And as usual, thanks for stopping by and bye.